Chief Stoll, thanks so much for joining us here
thing.
today. You're new, so tell me, what's your vision and hope for the fire department?
Well, my vision for the fire department, I was with San Diego Fire for just over 28 years. I left for a short, almost 2 years to be a fire chief somewhere else. I just got to come back home, back to the San Diego Fire Rescue and work with the dedicated men and women of this department. My vision for the department is really to hopefully continue the support from the city leaders and from our elected officials to provide the resources, the training, the infrastructure that we need to protect the city. Certainly staffing is a big goal of mine, and a vision to have a fully staffed, diverse workforce. And then really lastly is to just continue being members in this community, to be partners in our community, to provide the protection that they need, but really it's a partnership with us and the community, so being part of the community.
And you mentioned getting the staffing up. Where's the staffing at right now?
Well, we are short in staffing right now, and it fluctuates so much based on deployments, strike teams, fire activity, retirements, and so it's a moving target for us to keep on track for sure. But also retention is one of our big goals here, and we're constantly trying to maintain the workforce that we have and retain them here. There's competition all throughout the state and throughout the country for firefighters and for that skill. And so we want to make sure we attract the best and we retain the best as well.
And you'd have to do that by being competitive, no doubt.
We do, absolutely. And I really feel like a big part of that as well is job satisfaction. And if they're happy working for the city of San Diego and the services that we provide and the gratification that they take when they go home every day from going home from work, then that'll keep people around as well.
So what do you anticipate for this upcoming fire season? We're not even there yet. We've got brush fires everywhere. What do you think?
I know. We say it every year. I know it becomes kind of a cry wolf that it's going to be the worst fire season, and we are actually seeing that right now with the fires that we have. And when you've got one complex fire alone that's over 350,000 acres, and we're not even into our peak, we're not even into our Santa Ana season, it's a struggle. There's a lot of preparation that goes into getting ready for fire season. Our members train even before the fire season in what we call a wildland refresher training, where they kind of hone in on their skills again and go through some training, communications, do the wildland drills that we like them to do. And then it's our time as management to also make sure that the agreements are in place with our partners around the county as well as through the state for cost sharing reimbursement sides, mutual aid agreements as well, and just making sure that we're all on the same page and being able to help each other.
Seems like a lot of moving parts, and like you've really just had to kind of jump right in. That in mind, how important is it to quickly get the staffing up?
It is, and our members are certainly, they're true professionals, and they're dedicated to making sure that our communities are safe. And with that also comes working long and a lot of extra hours, and they have stepped up to the plate to do that, and we are very thankful that they're doing that as we start to work towards bringing up staffing. We've got our next fire academy is scheduled in October with 36 members, and we hope that that's going to also make a significant difference as well.
So we always hear about these brush fires, and they often happen out in the back country. What's the risk for an urban brush fire?
Well, we certainly have it in San Diego, and it's what we call a wildland urban interface, and that's anytime you have homes or structures that butt up against canyons or brush area. It's certainly a risk for all of us, and we know that living here in the city of San Diego. Again, this is a partnership with them. We have over 45,000 homes that sit on canyon rims that butt up against brush. To be able to monitor that, track that, and mitigate those risks, just leaving that responsibility to the fire department or the park and recs is just a daunting task. We need the community to assist and step up and take some of that responsibility of clearing those defensible spaces behind their homes.
And I'm going to ask, what can people do to be proactive in mitigating some of that?
So they can certainly look at their own property. We have what we call the defensible space, and that's 100 feet backing up against their home that we would like them to thin out the brush that will slow any approaching fire there. They can remove combustibles that's around their homes. They can look at the makeup of their roof, also the venting around their chimneys. those are some things that they can certainly do on their own. To get the specifics on that, I would encourage you to go to our website. You can go to sandiego.gov/fire, and you can get all the information on the Ready, Set, Go, as well as the brush management tips and the zones and the recommendations that we suggest them to take.
And switching gears from brush fires to structure fires, I know that fire suppression systems can sort of be a defense and save property and life. Talk to me about some of the older buildings in the city of San Diego. Are they up to the same standard as some of the newer construction in terms of fire suppression systems?
Well, they certainly are not up to the same standards because they were not built under the same codes. Some of the life safety codes are still in place, and we certainly enforce those. The fire codes that fall under the newer construction, as you know, are just, along with technology, are just a robust and very detailed codes that allow the residents of those buildings to certainly feel much safer. The older buildings are catching up to those, and the owners are aware of those issues, and we certainly inspect those buildings every year, and we work with those owners to mitigate any of those code violations that we find.
All right. And stepping into this position, is there anything else you'd like to say or add?
You know, I'm happy to be back home with the fire department that I grew up with the men and women that make up this department, and I've been thrilled and excited to return, and it's truly a blessing. So, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
All right. Thank you, Jade.
Appreciate it.